aware of this marijuana solution.
The Marijuana Solution would like to remind you to check out our sponsors after the podcast. We're going to have links to them in the description. Our sponsors are TrueLeaf, Sunshine Cannabis, The Smart Collective, Minorities for Medical Marijuana, and We Are Rare. Don't forget to check out those links in the description. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. Leave us a review.
We're Florida's first licensed medical cannabis dispensary with locations all throughout Florida, and we deliver all throughout Florida next day. We have the largest selection of products within the allowable delivery methods. TrueLeaf products are hand-grown in an environment that keeps it as natural as possible at every turn. We don't use pesticides, and we lab test our products, and those lab tests are published on our website, so you can be confident at the medication that you're putting into your body. Our favorite products are our vaporization lines, our True Pod, our True Clear is a patient favorite, and we also just recently launched True Flower for patients that want the full entourage effect. At TrueLeaf, we're really proud to offer the largest variety to patients, and we're really excited about the future and all of our patients that are helping us expand and grow and make our products even better. Visit our website at www.trueleaf.com to find out where all of our dispensaries are located, shop online, learn more about our products, or find a doctor if you haven't gotten started in the medical cannabis process.
Hello everybody, you're listening to The Marijuana Solution, and I'm your host Robert Roundtree. And this episode we're speaking with Tony Phillips. Tony Phillips, as many of you know, is with Smartables, also with the Smart Collective. He helps out a lot and is helping run the Swamp City Gallery. Today we wanted to bring him on and introduce you to him and get a little more information about why it's so important for him to be doing the edibles and cooking and teaching people how to make the best use out of the medicine. How you doing today, Tony?
I'm doing good, Robert. How's things going on your end?
Doing great. My son just got back from a vacation with his mom in Tennessee, so I got to see him today. So life is good, brother.
Oh yeah, life is good every day. So what do we got? What do we got on deck to talk about? Fire away. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, well, I would like for you to kind of introduce yourself to the Marijuana Solution listeners, who Tony Phillips is, why cannabis is so important for you, and why you've jumped feet first into this movement.
Well, just a little background about myself is, truth be told, my father was a grower back in the day. I grew up in the knowledge of cannabis through him being a grower and whatnot, and my food experience came from my grandmother, teaching me how to cook instead of letting a young guy by himself run around a farm and get in trouble. She put me to work with her in the kitchen. And then, truth be told, at 16, I lost my mom to cancer and had found out by then that cannabis could have helped. And at that point, I dedicated my life to learning everything I could about cannabis as medicine. And that led me to realize that cannabis as food is the best medicine. And that's the path I've been on since. And just focus on helping people heal their ailments with food. I mean, we eat every day. Why not put cannabis back in our diets like it was meant to be? You know, it used to come in all of our food sources. Our livestock used to eat it in their grains. And now we all are deficient. And the best way to get that back in is through our diet, and that gives us the best medicine, the whole wellness of it from the inside out.
And you bring up a good point, because a lot of people know that, you know, food is medicine with or without the cannabis. But when you add in that cannabis component, it really gives a synergistic effect and nourishes that endocannabinoid system that you touched on about being deficient. And we're extremely deficient in it these days.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's any of us that can go in and say, oh yeah, our endocannabinoid system is spot on. I mean, without it being in our diets, it's not fully regulated in our system. I mean, you hear stories about people microdosing through the day, and this is a good plan. These things work, but instead of having to concentrate on it and think about it as a microdose, if we learn how to, create our oils and our butters and these things that we cook with, so that we're using that on a daily basis for our other food supplies, we're constantly microdosing through our meals. And the more we put that back into our diet, the more healthy we will be. We've all learned about the entourage effect and homeostasis. The best way to get that is through our whole plant medicine and internalizing it. And then once the balance works itself out and the cannabinoid and our endocannabinoid system is fed, and that helps us bring us to that center of homeostasis, then the rest of our body mechanisms and healing mechanisms can go into full effect and really do the body good.
Yeah, absolutely. The endocannabinoid system, according to Dr. Mikulam, who, if you don't know, that was the gentleman in Israel that first discovered and quantified the THC molecule, then CBD and other things. He describes the system as basically being a regulatory system for all the other body's systems. It's kind of like either up regulates it or down regulates it. And, we see this in oxytocin and anandamide. They play a key role together, and oxytocin's in breast milk, and it's the chemical that's released when families are bonding together, and the endocannabinoid system plays a role in that. I wanted to ask you about whole plant. It's a term that we throw around a lot. A lot of us that are more versed in the cannabis movement, they understand what we mean by whole plant, but a lot of people listening are still new. They might not even be patients yet. They might just be wanting to find out. What exactly do you mean by whole plant?
Okay, what I mean by whole plant is, let's just we know the laws here in Florida currently, we're not allowed flower. Now, when you have access to flower, you have access to not only the cannabidiol part, which most people, especially now in the current environment, we hear about how that's the big healing side of the plant. Well, THC in some conditions is just as important. So we know we need cannabidiol. We know we need tetrahydrocannabidiol. We also know that terpenes play a big part in what happens. Terpenes, THC, and CBD are all in the plant, without being separated. And the whole plant provides all of these things at once, And when we start making our medicine from that whole plant, all right, keeping the plant's integrity with its CBD content, its THC content, and its terpene content, all of those things work together to create that homeostasis. And when you deal with whole plant medicine, what we mean is being able to get all of that valuable thing from the source, the actual source of the plant. We have ways of distilling THC. We have ways of separating CBD. We have ways of separating terpenes. So we have ways of mimicking what the whole plant can do. However, there are those of us that believe the best way to do this is with the actual whole plant itself, so that all of those things that were designed to work together in that strain are staying together. And that gives to most of us, that's what we believe is the best, purest form of the medicine.
Absolutely. And as best as we can replicate different strains and combinations to come up with, a full spectrum blend, there's so many terpenes and cannabinoids that we haven't even discovered yet, and we can't even quantify.
Oh, yeah. I remember growing up, all we ever heard about talking was THC, CBD, and terpenes. We knew about the things that gave the plant the smell. But as I've grown with my knowledge of the plant, knowing that, finding out about the acid forms, the finding out that you got CBD, CBG, CBF, there's so many different components of the plant. And the more we find out about the plant, we also find out that each of these little components also affect something in the human body. So it's like, that's where I get where really the idea and the concept of whole plant comes. Because as a cook, I've learned that as I apply heat to cannabis, certain components either are burnt away or others become heightened. So when you're playing with isolates, distillates, things like this, some of those important compounds get cooked off in those processes. So can we replicate them? Yes. Does it work? Pretty much. But, there are a lot of us in the community that want to stay as close to the pure plant as we can. Hence, all the talk about whole plant medicine. Plus, when whole plant medicine gets recognized as whole plant medicine, that's one more thing to open up flower to all of us as patients.
Yeah, we need flower like a decade ago. We're so behind the times here in Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with something to say, and it's just mind-boggling. So moving right along. So you have a cooking show that...
Yes, I do. Tony's Table.
That I was honored enough to be on. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what kind of content that people can expect to get from you?
Yeah. Well, Tony's Table is just like my first project, and others to come through collaboration between myself and greenwise.tv. We're trying with the Tony's Table itself is really, I try to show a little bit of food. It's not really about the food yet. It's more about my guest. With Tony's Table, I'm trying to show that we can have cool conversations over a meal while expanding people's knowledge about cannabis. Hence why I like to have different guests on with different projects of their own, because I don't want Tony's Table to be all about me. I want it to be about the community, and just also letting people know that not only is there ways to do things with food, but these different guests I have also have businesses and supplies and things that they do in the cannabis world. And I just want to share a little bit of my knowledge about food, but mostly I want to give people a platform to share what cannabis has done for them, what kind of businesses they have that are working in the cannabis industry, and show that, there's camaraderie over food and concepts, and just trying to share that knowledge with people.
Yeah, it's really a good concept, and I like it. I really like that you kind of share the spotlight with the guests and highlight what they do in the community, because it takes a big community and group effort to really push these things forward. And you've got a great partner.
It's like a family. It takes a village, man.
Greenwise is awesome.
Oh yeah, Greenwise was great. My relationship now with Tyler and Swamp City Gallery Lounge. I mean, I really got to give a big shout out to Tyler and Swamp City. I was looking at possibly going down the path of disability, and this gentleman not only recognized the knowledge I have about cannabis and the desire I have for it. He was like, "Hey man, I got a perfect spot for you. Why don't you come help me with this thing I'm doing with Swamp City Gallery Lounge?" And between the CBD products we have in there and whatnot, dude, I've got a life again, man. I'm working a full-time job, and it's beautiful what cannabis has done for me personally, and I just want to share it that much more with everybody. And if that means Tony's Table or whatever my next cooking project is. And I have to be honest, there is a plan for an announcement in October about the next collaboration between myself, Greenwise.tv, for another cooking show. We'll be releasing that, like I said, in October. The concept, not necessarily the show, but we're all trying to work together. We're all trying to support each other, and that's really what I want to do with Tony's Table as well as with Smartables. My website.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What are you doing with the website? As if I don't know.
Well, as if you don't know. Well, the website is there. It's really a portal for people to, if you're interested in hiring a cannabis chef for personal parties, whatever, there's that route for connecting with me to do something like that. I also have an area on there with recipes of various cannabis-infused foods that I've made along the way that I share with people. And I also have an area on there just for people to ask for help. If you need, a little more knowledge on whatever food it might be that you're trying to make, shoot me an email, a text, whatever. I'm here to help. The Smartables is really just that. It's here to educate and teach people how to use cannabis in food. If you watch my show, you see me using it, but the website is where you can come and go, hey, Tony, I saw this episode. I want to know more. And I can help you with more. And, that's the focus of smartables.com.
That's awesome. I love that you provide your audience the possibility and opportunity to connect with you and, learn more directly rather than just waiting for content to come out, because people do have questions. And listen, folks, if you want to hire a chef, this is your guy. You go to Smartables, that's SMRTABLES.com.
Yep.
And you hire him. If you want really dank food, literally, to be cooked for you, this is your guy. And the recipes are great too, man.
Thank you.
I got to eat one.
Nice. Yeah, you did. I'm working on others, between with everything going on with Swamp City just getting open and getting the launch of the website going. It's still playing a little catch up with everything, but trust me, here soon I will have at least a recipe a week coming out. I plan on getting my blog up and going is to where I'm at least putting something out every week and, thoughts, whatever. And I just really want people to see that and throw some interaction back at me. If there's something you want to see me do, tell me. If there's a special recipe out there that you think would be good and that people need to know more about, shoot me a line. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that food, and let me tell you, as I'm stumbling over my words, everyone that's listening, what I was so fortunate to eat at Swamp City, because we did a grilling and chilling episode, which you can see if you go to greenwise.tv. They have it there. I have it on floridamarijuana.net, and of course, is it on Smartables as well?
Yeah, by the time this is on, it'll be there.
We made a skirt steak with chimichurri sauce, and it was fabulous. We used the CR World infused coconut oil.
Yep.
Which is a really great product by Colette Florido, and there's a podcast with her a little earlier, maybe 10 episodes back, if y'all want to listen to that. She's a great wealth of information about CBD, wonderful person. I met all of you guys, Colette, you by default through Ryan, and so many of the people that I network with through the Florida Cannabis Coalition. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys, Tom Quigley, Pete Sessa, and everything that they're doing over there. Chaz, big group of them.
Chaz and Andy and Dahlia, they put in some good work.
Yeah, they're putting in work. And I'm sure we'll see all of you at the Canada in Orlando. But
yes, that is the plan.
Yeah, it's going to be lit, guys. So if people want to get in touch with you now, Tony, how can they follow what you're doing? like your Facebook pages and your website. You got so much going on. I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah, well, the website is smartables.com, as in SMRT, there's no A, and then ABLES.com for Smartables. You can also find me on Facebook at either My Personal Chef Tony or at Smartables. And I'm also on Instagram as My Personal Chef Tony.
Awesome.
And maybe one day if I figure out how to use a Twitter, I might do that one, but I don't know. Can't throw too many recipes out there with only 140 characters.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty bland recipe.
Exactly.
So, you mentioned a little bit about, helping out with Tyler and Swamp City and that being, like a really big blessing for you right now. Can you kind of talk about what it is that's going on there at Swamp City? I mean, it's the hottest thing in North Florida for sure.
As I already said, it's called Swamp City Gallery Lounge. We are first and foremost an art gallery, being blown glass art as well as canvas, sculpted, whatever. We love art. We love art and artistry, and we want to support that. But we are also Gainesville's first CBD dab bar, as well as a beer garden. So the idea is people to come in through, medicate, have a nice relaxed evening, enjoy some art, and have a good time. It's really about a relaxed vibe. We're trying to stay kind of with that peaceful, all-inclusive thing, that vibe of, I hate to say kumbaya, but it's almost like that, that peace-loving feeling of togetherness, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, you guys have put in a lot of hard work, and I know there's been a good core group of you guys doing that, and that place looks phenomenal. I would just like to say that for anybody that hasn't seen it.
Thank you.
When you go in there, check out that bar. Tony did that. I don't know what else you did in there specifically, but man, it's just amazing. There's art all over the walls, dope glass everywhere. You can get a dab of CBD and pick your terps, right?
Yes, sir. We also have isolates and unterped dab slabs. So we have gotten some terpenes in, and we can customize. If you have a favorite flavor, we can hook up some isolate or some unflavored slab, and here you go. Do you like Durban Poison? Here's the terpenes for terpene profile. Let me add that to your CBD product. We carry 31 different flavors, hint, without saying anything to get us in trouble. And we want to be able to not just, we can custom blend for you, create a blend of a flavor you already know. We want to be your one-stop shop for cannabidiol.
That's awesome. And good deals, too. I think I saw a deal the other day, guys. It was like $7.10, and you got maybe it was a coffee, a croissant or something, and a dab.
Oh, yeah, we have a few different specials. We have what we call our Dough and Joe in the morning, where you can come in and get a coffee and a donut for $4.20. If you want to get a coffee, a donut, and a dab, it's $7.10. And we also have every day our happy hour is from 4:20 to 7:20, and on Sundays we have happy hours all day long.
Sunday fun day.
Yes, sir. And as we have, we're going to have like recurring reggae days, and we're looking at doing a swamp film night where we have, put a movie screen in the courtyard and people can come watch some classic, 70s, 80s, and 90s films. And, we're trying to make it just that, like I said, that place where it's really cool and chill, and you can come do anything that you want to do in a cool, chill space.
That's awesome, man. I'm really glad you guys are doing that. and it's in my hometown of Gainesville, so I couldn't be happier.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had some really good people help us along the way. I mean, you mentioned there's my good friend and my brother Ryan and Maria with the Smart Collective, who have been in there helping us do work and helping us put some products on the shelves, and with the Team Florida Patient Water. And we got, you've helped us along the way with talking about us. You're helping us right now, putting us on your podcast. We've got just about everybody with a cannabis business here in Gainesville has helped us somehow and in some way, or is still helping us. And the teamwork here is amazing. I can't say enough about the people in Gainesville and the family and the kind of green team we got going here. It's just everybody's helping hold each other up and lift each other up. It's a beautiful thing, brother, and I love being a part of it.
Yeah, man, it sure is, and I'm going to keep supporting you guys, make sure everybody that I know knows about Swamp City and Chef Tony and Smartables, Greenwise TV. I mean, there's the Smart Collective. I mean, there's so many great things going on in Gainesville that it's,
yes, sir.
I don't know, man, it's hard for me to really talk about because this is the town I grew up in, and I've been arrested for having an empty dime bag that had never been used. I had it, of course, from my shirt with the button, like that's what it was from.
Right.
And I got beat up and been persecuted in that town for a long time over the plant, and it's really nice to see the town really welcoming it, welcoming businesses in, welcoming in multiple cultivators. Dispensaries are opening up. Gainesville's open for business for cannabis.
Yeah, I mean, we've even got some of the MMTCs, I guess, I'm not sure, I can't remember which ones, but a couple of them even own property not far from Gainesville where they're doing their grows. So, this area is really becoming a big spot for, medical cannabis and everything. And it's amazing seeing how much the city's opened up to it. Because, I've heard stories from you and other people in the past how it wasn't always that way, and to know that we now have city commissioners that support cannabidiol and healthy, good access to something other than these opiates out there. I mean, and watching knowing some of the history of Gainesville and now seeing what it's becoming, it's really a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm a transplant. You know that. I'm not born here, not raised here, but everything I've seen about Gainesville made me make this my home. I will be buried under a tree here, preferably a palm tree, but that's as far as I'm concerned, from here out, I'm meant to be in Florida, especially this area.
Right on, brother. Gainesville's always been at the heart of cannabis in Florida. Gainesville Green was a really popular strain. The doobie
Yes,
toss
sir.
that they used to do at the Hemp Fest in Gainesville was amazing. And then now, like you said, the Green Solution has a grow in Gainesville, and so does Liberty Health Sciences. It's kind of like outside of Gainesville, technically unincorporated, but
Yeah,
they're coming to do business.
it's
and
pretty damn close.
I know a handful of other people that are wanting to get into the business that are in Gainesville, and they're probably going to be doing it soon. So kudos to the county commissioners and the city commissioners for allowing the right thing to happen, the right process to happen, and this to unfold how it should, which is without any additional restrictions other than the ones imposed from the state and Tallahassee that they can't get around.
Yeah, we have some great people in prominent positions in Gainesville that are open to new ideas, and I know I'm kind of maybe reaching a little bit right now, but hopefully maybe the things we do here in Gainesville can help show other places that, we know of some of these areas that have done bannings and whatnot. Hopefully we can show that, hey, look, this stuff can be done responsibly. You know, and not just from the MMTCs, but from the ancillary businesses as well. Look what we've done here without going crazy. You know, people can model this and make it, you know, take it statewide. You know, it doesn't have to be a question of, you know, the city commission for or against, oh, blah, 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 blah. Open your hearts, open your minds, not just to the plant, but to these new businesses that are sprouting. You know, a good friend of mine says that as things are going the way they are in this business, advocacy and activism are important, but doing good business now with where cannabis is accepted the way it is, doing good business is now its own form of advocacy and activism. And the more the businesses show that we can do things responsibly and with goodwill, that just means that much more of the stigma falls off and more places will open up to the concepts that we're starting all over Florida.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. And with that, I'm going to end this podcast because that was like a mic dropper.
I agree.
I love you, man. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time. I know you guys are busy running around right now. Just let everyone in on a little secret. He's taking time out of his busy day, literally while they're running errands, to help me get this content out. And one last time, Tony, can you make sure everyone knows where to get hooked up with you?
Man, you can find information about me and the people that I work with at these places, starting with the overall group, smartcollective.com. That's SMRT collective.com. Then there is Smartables, which is SMRTABLES.com. We're also, you can find me at my personal Chef Tony on either Facebook or Instagram, and Swamp City Gallery Lounge. We have a .com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. So you can find me and connect with me in any one of those. And you can also find out other things going on in Gainesville. You know, all of those have links to just about everything that all of us are doing here. If you want to know things about Gainesville, start there.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the time, and thank you for having me, Robert. I can't say how much you and your show means to all of us out here putting out real information. Thanks for being not just a friend, but a brother to the Smart Collective and to myself at Smartables. I really appreciate that more than I can really put into words, man.
You're welcome, Tony, and I feel the exact same way about you, brother. It's been really nice meeting and getting to know everybody, and to think that you all were just hiding in my hometown. It's so awesome, man. And the next episode, we're going to be speaking to Tyler King, founder of Swamp City Gallery Lounge, and probably some more things that Tony is doing. I love you, man. Thank you, Tony.
All right, brother. You have a good day, all right?
All right, bro. You too. Tell Tyler I said hey.
I will. Love you, man.
Love you too. Bye. The Marijuana Solution would like to remind you to check out our sponsors after the podcast. We're going to have links to them in the description. Our sponsors are TrueLeaf, Sunshine Cannabis, The Smart Collective, Minorities for Medical Marijuana, and We Are Rare. Don't forget to check out those links in the description. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. Leave us a review.
Aware of the Marijuana Solution.